So, I ended up finding a bunch more Nazi stamps. I have some from Croatia. I have some, from Bohemia and Moravia. And then I have some from Slovakia. I ended up finding a bunch of those. So, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and file away these Czechoslovakian stamps that were mixed in with these that were actually just Czechoslovakian issues. They weren't really Nazi issues. Not that these stamps have swastikas on them or anything like that, but they're Nazi era, so all the way up to 45, right? And some of them do have, actual Nazis on them, of course, but I didn't know that I was going to come up with so much more Nazi stamps, because I would have made my first Nazi section bigger, but I'm out of room, so I actually was, thankfully we were slow at work, I was able to catalog and organize all of these by Scott number at work. And my secretary was like, well, why don't you just make another section? I was like, I guess you're right. Why not? I was going to leave them out of the book, and I decided, what the heck, I'll take her advice. So, I'm going to continue the Nazi theme here in this section of this big bad book again. So I figured, hey, why not have you guys come along with me and take the journey with me of building this section. I've never done this before on this channel so far, where you guys kind of work with me and we build stuff together. I kind of like the idea of that. I don't know if I'll do it all the time, but I figured, why not give it a shot? So, yeah, we're going to get into just building this section, and the nice thing about it really is that I've already done all the hard work. Honestly, cataloging and organizing all of these stamps was, I'm sure, going to end up being the hardest part of it all. I want to say that some of these Bohemia and Moravia stamps ended up being a freaking pain in the butt to catalog, because specifically these ones. There's multiple issues of these. They reissued these stamps like a couple of times, and there's slight differences. They look pretty much identical. It was a little tedious. I ended up doing stuff where I would think that I had cataloged it correctly, and then later on come to discover, that I mixed it up, and I had to go back and forth to get these stamps cataloged right. Yikes, what the heck. I really didn't expect to have such a difficult time, but if you're gonna catalog stuff, you want to do it correctly. And when I go through the catalog and realize, wait a minute, I must have made a mistake, it would be so easy to just leave them as they were, but nope, you got to go back and correct your mistake and make sure you got it right. And yeah, I ended up erasing and rewriting this information over and over and over to get these Bohemia Moravia stamps correct. But when I was finally done, it was like, phew, wiped the sweat from my brow. What the heck? I didn't expect that to be such a pain. But not these ones. These were easy, but yeah, these ones, these issues here. God dang it. Ugh. So, anyways, we're going to put these in section by section, and I think I'll start with Bohemia and Moravia. Then we'll do Croatia after, and then we'll do Slovakia. And you guys may have heard of Bohemia and Moravia and Croatia already. Well, Slovakia, I didn't really know anything about Slovakia. Just to speak for a moment, Slovakia, it turns out, is part of Czechoslovakia. And back in the day, the Nazis kind of took over and granted them 25 years of German protection, was the plan. And then in 45, the regime fell, and then Slovakia just got absorbed back into Czechoslovakia. So it was like this really short-lived country. I don't know if you call it a country. It's probably more like a province or something. I could look it up, but yeah. Anyway, Slovakia, weird, short-lived little place in Czechoslovakia. So, anyways, let's begin building this album. Looking forward to it. Okie dokie. So, when I build these albums, I definitely end up thinking about this video I did about stamp collecting tools and supplies. This paper cutter, pretty simple thing. Just another tool that is just fantastic. Gotta have it. Gotta have it, in my opinion. Of course, you could have a way better quality one than this, but this one works for me. And so, let's try and get this cut. Trim off some of that margin on the top. Beautiful. Nazi section. Okay. Get that out of here. So I think I'm gonna use a glue stick. Why not? Takes me back. Back to kindergarten here. But instead of using my artist's tape, I think it would just be easy and maybe more appropriate to just do it like this. It would look cleaner like this too. Like we're always saying, there's no rules. Do what makes you happy, do what feels right, do what you want. Okay, so Nazi section continued. I think that looks good enough. Just like that. I already feel like I didn't put enough glue on the edges. Watch, we'll see. Maybe I did. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, cool. Well, that was easy. Alright. So, I had actually forgotten. Boom, I have more. Yeah, completely forgot about these album pages that I had. So, I want to put these in first. I decided that I like them, and I'm going to leave them as is. And these pages have actually a lot of the same stamps that are in those piles that I had made. Yeah, instead of ripping the stamps off or cutting the hinges off, I decided I'm just going to leave these on. Look at, there's our Hitler. And, yeah, so just kind of a choice that I made. I love these. These ones have the additional selvage with like an inscription, little musical notes on there. Sorry for the lighting. But yeah, this is all Bohemia Moravia, these 4 pages, and they're pretty enough. I think I'm just going to leave them as is. So, I have these wonderful crystal clear page protectors, and I'm going to go ahead and slip these album pages in there one at a time, and I'm going to tape them to the page is the plan. So, okay. When I've slipped these in before, of course I've had the stamps catch. I've actually pulled stamps off of pages before trying to do this. Probably a good idea to get those out of here. And so you got to kind of watch it. Yeah, I love these specific page protectors because they're crystal clear, like I said, but they were dirt cheap, and I got big packs. The packs were like of 100, and so reasonably priced. You'll notice that they don't have any. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing in here. They don't have any. God. Okay. Holes punched in them. There we go. a little tricky here. I'm trying. Slow and steady. What, man. The pages are just about exactly the size, so it's making it a little bit difficult here, of course. Trying. God. Frick. Boy, I just don't want to go. Jesus Christ. I kind of, so maybe I'll slip this one in there. I'll finish this, but I think I'm going to cut, like, the hole punch section off the side of the page, just so this isn't like this with the other ones, because what the heck, man. Shouldn't be this difficult to get this page in here. I'm putting little creases in it, just fiddling. Okay, actually, yeah. We're gonna start over here with that. God dang, what the heck? All right. Yeah. Homie, don't play that. I'm not gonna hurt these stamps. Just trying to fit the thing in an album. So, that'll do. Okay. So that's page number 1. Yeah, I've never done anything like this because I don't know how, entertaining or fun it is really to watch somebody work on an album. But I figured, why not? Why not? Somebody's got to think it's fun to take the journey with me. A little reality on what it is here. Trial and error, little delays. You've got to think about things. And this is when you're making an album from scratch like I am. This album is not pre-made. Oh, that was my guts, if you could hear that. I'm just hungry. So everything is kind of up to me how to do it. Okay, this is good. This is going well. You'll notice I'm cutting them upside down. Well, I've learned with this cheap paper cutter that it really only works well going one way. And so I've tried to go both ways. I was like, it's a double-sided blade. Why wouldn't it work well going both ways? But it doesn't. I swear to God, it doesn't. So, alright, cool. This is where one stupid little thing like a paper cutter really comes in handy here. Okay, I'm going to discard all these scraps. Like to keep a clean working space if I can help it, Okay. Get these in order again. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh yeah, I made a cup of coffee. I gotta go. Excuse me. Gotta go fix that up. Oh my God, look at that. Smart move. Oh, they're tall. Crap. They're taller than the page protectors. Ugh. So yeah, my plan was I was going to tape it at the top, right? So that you can flip the pages and go page by page. Since I could easily trim the bottom off of this page and, just under these numbers here. I could also just trim the top off too, but I would lose this pretty little Bohemian Moravia label. I kind of like that, and I want to keep it. So, what I'm thinking is maybe I will, instead of making them where they'll flip this way, I'll have them flip this way, like a book. So I could just tape them down the side here, basically like this. And let me scooch this if I can, so you guys can see. Anyway, that's the plan, I think. I think that's what I'll do. So, yeah, got my artist tape. By the way, if you're the subscriber that mentioned months and months and months ago, many videos back, that Scotch tape is not archival safe and I shouldn't be using it in this album. I should be using this artist's tape that you can get on Amazon. You can get different thickness, you know, all that stuff. Thank you. If you're that guy, thank you. I've been feeling better, you know, just in my soul about using the proper tape so that this thing will actually last for a while. That's the plan, right? So, okay. So I'm going to try to make it even, you know, by eye. Just to mention, too, kind of one of the problems with this album being not a proper stamp album is I'm pretty far into the album now, and this whole page has this curve to it. You know, it's not flat. This side is flat, but when I'm putting stamps on this side, yeah, I mean, it's got a major curve, so it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So, we'll slap it down, give her a little tape job here. I got my favorite pair of scissors so far. I did have another pair that was more expensive. Actually, these were my favorite, but they kept coming loose, that nut, and it drove me crazy. So I got this cheapo Westcott non-stick. But these ended up being better because of the non-stick. So when I cut this tape, you know, no residue sticks on it. It's a beautiful thing, so they stay clean. So I love these scissors. So anyways, yeah, this is what I've been doing in this album. I'll tape it in there, and then I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to hit it with another piece of tape. Actually, I like it to be, I'm going to fold the actual tape over halfway, and then hit it again. And this way I always felt secure that it's in there well enough. I'm taped on both sides. Okay. Bippity boppity. So it was that simple, really. With use and time, this will get a little better. You know, a little easier to fold over, but it's pretty much ready to go right now. So it's like making my own little hinge for this page. I like how this is going so far. This has made me happy. Okay, so that you guys don't have to watch me do that over and over and over again, I'm going to go ahead and put the other pages in, and then we'll see how it looks when I'm done. I also want my coffee. Alrighty, so got them all in there, got them taped up, and so now this was the plan. This is what we've got. You know, you can just look at page by page by page. It's beautiful, and we end up here at official stamps, and these. So these are, you know, 019, number 020 or 020. Sorry, 020, 021. And these are P. So these are newspaper stamps. You know, P1, P2. And this little dove on here actually does say Bohemian. It says Bohem and Marin, Czechy and Morava, blah blah blah. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's how you knew that these ones were actually Bohemian Moravias. They say that at the bottom. They have different variations that don't say that on the bottom of the stamp. Anyways, I like doing this. I think this is nice. I will say sometimes one little tiny thing, like at the top here, I didn't layer the tape perfectly, so there was a little sticky piece. You could cut that off. I actually like to just bend the corners down so that there's no adhesive sticking to anything else. So, you know, like sometimes they'll still be sticky, like that one's a little sticky. I'm just going to fold the corner over. Oh, you can't see that, but that's just to help stop the pages sticking together. But this turns out good. I will say when they're new, you know, since I kind of created this hinge on both sides, they kind of want to stand up a little, so I like to give a little tug on each one and kind of make them lay flat, and then I'll press them. And yeah, over time, I mean, I'm sure most people don't do this. This is also, I mean, just a ridiculous album that I've chosen to do whatever I want to do with, right? So, yeah, if I want to do this, I can do this. And I like how this turned out. This is great. I think it was a good move keeping all the stamps on the sheets there on the pages. Easy to look at. They're all protected. They're organized. If you can't tell, it's all by number, so this is the oldest, and then it gets more and more recent as you go. There's only 4 pages, and then you get into semi-postals and then the officials, so it's ordered logically, these 4 pages in here. And yeah, that was easy. Jeez, man, it feels good to do some work in this album. I already am enjoying this section. This is cool. I like this. This is why I do this stuff. I like this stuff, don't I? Okay, so now that we have those pages in, we're going to start with me going through these stock cards. And yeah, I've cataloged and organized every single stamp in all of these, and it ended up being quite a bit. It's actually amazing how many hours a person can spend trying to catalog and properly organize stamps. God, I wish it was easier. I really do wish it was easier, but it's not. It's not as easy. It just depends on the country, on the issues, on the time period. But yeah, but really, I mean, I just did not expect. I mean, I've already cataloged a lot of Bohemia and Moravia stamps in the earlier section in this album, but I don't recall at all having such a hard time with these. What the heck? Not that they're the worst that I've ever done, but I definitely got pissed off a couple of times having to go back and, you know, redo these. By the way, I write on all these stock cards the information with an erasable pen, and I love that. It's one of my favorite things of late. As of late, even my glassines. See, this says Bohemia and Moravia. I can erase it, and then I can reuse the glassine. A lot of people will just cross it off, and that's perfectly fine too. You know, this being an erasable pen, it doesn't erase quite as well as a pencil, but it does erase, and so it's cleaner. And I love the fact that I didn't, you know, have to waste a glassine. I don't have to cross it off. Sometimes you'll get glassines that have like been reused, you know, 10 times and got all this crap written on them, and it's like, what do you even look at? See? It's a beautiful thing. Look, it's pretty much clear. It's like it's brand new. So yeah, I love this erasable pen. You can buy these in packs on Amazon. I'm pretty sure that I had mentioned these in my stamp supplies video. They do erase better on paper than these glassines, I'll tell you that, because usually it's not this difficult, but they don't really leave behind any residue, crumbles like an eraser, sometimes a little bit, but not much at all. It's really like magic. It just kind of takes the stuff away, whatever the heck this is made of, whatever kind of ink they use. So I love that. So back into the stockpile with all my other glassines, nice and clean. And then yeah, I can erase all the information on these stock cards when I'm done putting the stamps in, and clean these up and just reuse them. Why waste things, right? All these cost money, you know, all this stuff. So anyways, just a side note, I get sidetracked. Let's start putting these stamps on. Now I'm going to be using strips here, okay? So let me get these out of here. So I've bought these in bulk. This is all in my stamp collecting supplies video. Some guy in Great Britain or something like that over in the UK sells these, and they're different sizes. I buy them in bulk to save money. They have an open top, so you slip your stamps in, and then you can cut them. Oh, I already had cut this. I slipped it back in there. But you cut them to size, and then I'm going to seal them up with my handy dandy Howard pen, right? My adhesive pen. So that'll be the plan. I've got all the strips and mounts I could possibly need, I'm sure. And then my strip cutter. Love this thing. Fantastic. If you want to cut mounts right, you really do have to have this. You know, scissors just aren't going to give you a crisp, clean edge that's, you know, as presentable as it could be. You have to have this. And a paper cutter isn't going to do that either. You need a stamp mount cutter. They call it a guillotine. The one I have happens to be Tonic Studios brand. I'm pretty sure I got this, I think at, oh my god, what's the name of it? Mystic Stamp Store? Or the Mystic Store, and they sell this stuff. This was the bigger one, more expensive, and I'm glad I got the bigger one. I do end up cutting like full page size mount strips sometimes, and you'll need a big guillotine. But this is all stuff if you really want to get into the hobby and you want to take it seriously and all that. But it makes a difference, right? It makes a difference. So here's what I think I'm going to do is we're going to go one card at a time, and I'm not going to film every card because this video would just last forever. But I'm going to find an appropriate size strip, put them all in the strip, close it up, adhere it to the page, and then write the necessary information, and just do that one at a time. So this is going to take me a little bit. I don't know actually how long this will take, but once I get in the flow, things actually start going pretty fast. So anyways, let me bring you to I'll show you the sequence of what I do here. Woo! That vaporizer hits me sometimes. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to pull out one stamp, and I need to figure out what size strip this is going to go into. 33 might be a little excessive. I don't want to like waste strips. I think a 30 is going to be appropriate for this. Should give me plenty of room, so we'll get that out of here. I'll pull out a 30, and they do like to stick together. So kind of, I find sometimes I have to like pull them halfway out, and then they'll release. So cool. Here's my mount strip. We are open at the top. Right? Yep. Okay. It's actually been quite a while since I've done this, you guys. Man, I did so much of this building this album. Holy crapola. I'm just wondering, like, what am I forgetting here? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them all out of the stock card here, and I want to keep them in order because I've already bothered to order everything. And I think, yeah, okay, I've actually got some duplicates here, which I stack on top of each other. So one thing I'm wondering as I'm looking at this is I didn't stack this onto these. Is there actually any difference? They look pretty much the same. They're all the same denom. Huh. Okay. Okay, these I had stacked, so these are duplicates. Yeah, these all must be duplicates. This all must be the same, these three. Okay, so I've got them laid out here. Now, initially, looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, these are not all going to fit in this strip. So, anyways, I'm going to start putting them in there. Now, the ones on the side, I'm going to leave a little margin here because I'm going to be hitting this with my adhesive pen to close these mounts once they're in there, and I definitely don't want to get any adhesive on the stamp. So leave a little space, right? Then it's up to you exactly how close to put these. I don't like wasting money, so I'm not going to space them out too far. I mean, I'll leave a little space here. That way you can still see the perfs and stuff, but yeah, I like to maximize, you know, what I'm going to get out of these strips. And generally, when I'll put these in here, I'm going to probably rearrange them all at the end. We'll see. Because what will happen is I like to have even spaces in between each stamp. Fairly even, right? Like this one's actually a little bit slightly bigger, like a couple millimeters bigger than this one, the space. And aesthetically, you know, I mean, I don't know how hard it just kind of comes down to my mood, like how hard I'm going to nitpick about this. But often I'll put them in there and I'll get to the end and realize that I kind of don't have enough room for the next stamp or something like that. And yep, see, like that, I'll have to reposition all the stamps. So that's kind of annoying, but that's kind of the nature of it. I've got a choice here, you see. I can either take this stamp and leave it out and reposition them and make a wider margin between them all, or I can bring them all a little bit closer and probably fit this stamp in the strip. I think that what I would want to do from experience is for it to look better is I'm going to leave the stamp out and I'm going to reposition all the stamps in the strip. Why? Because I could just snip the edge off of this, but I don't know. I think that it's wasting a little bit of the strip, and it would be nice. I think it would look nicer to have bigger spaces. So I'm kind of just going to start going for it. You just kind of got to visually guess, like, see, that was a little bit much. I'm going to start over again here. I'll bring him to the side. Don't know how well you guys can see this, but you just got to fiddle with them enough. I think my hand kind of blocks the light. Sorry, it's just the lighting situation I have. And, well, okay, a little bit. See, and that's where I end up. I think it looks better with bigger spaces, so I think that that was probably the right thing to do. Here we are, a nice strip, fairly evenly spaced. And you know, don't sweat the small stuff, right? Like, I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm not going to measure the millimeters in between the stamps to make sure that they're perfectly evenly spaced. I don't care that much. I just want it to look generally decent. So I think I want to get these out of here, away from my adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and put the adhesive in here. They're all in order. They're evenly spaced. It looks great. Hit the corner with some adhesive. Oops. Okay. Over here. Hit this side with adhesive. Boom, I can smell the adhesive. I'm going to help it adhere together with a little finger pressure. Yeah. Now I love the mount strips that open up on the back, you know, but this works just fine. I love these, and they were so much cheaper than those other style of strips. Seriously, like significantly cheaper. Also, since I cut these strips all the time to varying lengths, I always save the snippets. And I find I've probably saved a bunch of money by just saving them. Right, there's a double-sided. I like these, but they're more expensive, right, that style. But yeah, I save all the trimmings. You just never know. And generally, what I'll try to do is find something that will work for the stamp I'm after in this glassine before I cut a new strip. So that way, yeah, I save money. You know, why not? What the heck? So that went well. Now, I obviously am going to need a little bit more here. They're sticking together, as would be expected. Okay. Just getting a little loopy here. Okay, get all these back in there. Alright, cool. So, now I have this done. That turned out really well. Love that. Beautiful. It's pretty. Okay, let's get this opened up and start slipping these in there. I'm going to try to space them about the same as I did on this other strip. About like that. Cool. Looks pretty good. I think this needs to be straightened. Okay. So now, we're going to get out our handy dandy mount cutter. Guillotine. And yes, I already know the collectors are like, dude, why are you cutting it with the stamps in the mount? This is how I do it. Okay, God, I think maybe I cut one stamp one time. Yeah, maybe, I can't remember. I feel like I did. I feel like that did happen. But you just have to be careful if you already have the stamps in the mount when you're cutting it in the guillotine, right? So, you don't cut the stamps. But I like to have them in there, that way, I don't know, this is just how I do it. Yeah, that way I know I get the right cut. So, whatever. To each their own, you know? That was pretty easy. You just line it up against the edge there and slice it down. These little plastic rounds, half circles here, that's for, you slip the mount under there and you hold it down and then slice it. So, real simple, easy. Got my 3, right? So this is all going to be like that. And need to go ahead and get these adhered down. Let me paint. Whoops. I try not to get it on my desk if I can help it. Okay. Okay, so simple, easy breezy, Japanesey. Okay, boom, just like that. Simple, love it. Yeah, so time to slap these into the album here. So let's get organized. And get these out of the way. Bring over this big ridiculous album. Okay. Alright. Let me reposition this camera. Cool, so this looks like it'll all fit on here just perfectly on this one page. I've got a kind of a choice to make. Do I write the information above it or below it? I think I'm going to write the info above. So I just want to make sure I leave enough space here that I can write my little Scott numbers and cat values and all that. And yeah, I like to kind of lay things out before I adhere them to the page. Just to kind of see what it'll be, kind of figure out, make sure it all fit and all that. And yeah, this is pretty simple, straightforward stuff, to be honest. So this looks great. I'm going to go ahead and put these down. Now, these are adhesive on the back, so I give them the old lick and stick. Get them juiced up. Flop it down. Cool. So, that looks good. I do want to kind of press it for a little bit just to make sure it's going to stay. I have put strips on pages before and realized I messed up and tried to peel them off. It definitely is a pain in the butt to get these strips off of these pages after you've done this step. You're going to rip the paper off and all kinds of stuff. So you really want to make sure you have all your stamps in here correctly and everything's right before you stick these on the pages. That's why I do all the cataloging and organizing and everything first. What we're going through now, is supposed to be the fun part. This is the easy part. I simply put them in strips, put them on the page. Simple, easy, and then I've already written all the information on the stock card, so I just transfer it over and write it here. That way, you know, everything's like set up and prepared, and yeah. So anyways, let's get this guy licked and sticked. Okay. And you do kind of have to do this sort of fast, or the adhesive will dry. Make sure you kind of get them straight. And it's just not a perfect world, you know, with this. Like, maybe there's sometimes I put stamps and they're not quite straight, they're a little crooked or something, and the strips, the mounts, whatever. Really, yeah, at some point I just decided, you know, take it easy, don't stress about it. Like, there's a little adhesive that was, look, I could see an adhesive fingerprint. I mean, some of it got stuck on the back of my finger there. I think it would look kind of shoddy, so wipe that off. Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure we get this stuck pretty well. Okay. Then yeah, I'm going to use my erasable pen. And you could just use a pencil, of course, but I actually like the way that a pen writes, personally. I do like pencils too, but let me move this just a smidgen. Sorry. Yeah, so here is my thoughts on this. Usually what I do is I'll number every single individual one. Number 21, number 22, number 23. You know, this one I might just do what I did here. Just numbers 20 through 26. Maybe I'll just put that in the center above the whole strip. And I did have a note here. This is a complete set. So the whole set here with a couple of added extras. The whole set is $2. So I just about guarantee if I was going to look into the catalog, what the cat price is on all these stamps, it's going to be 25 cents, you know. So all of these are incredibly minimal value stamps. Even the complete set at $2, then the reality is that they all have little flaws or something, and you're only going to sell it for 10%. So this whole set is worth 20 cents. Maybe you could sell the whole set for 25 cents, you know, so, yeah, let's get this in here, numbers 20 through 26, and I personally like to put arrows, that's just me, so, number 20 through 26, I like to put the year, 1939 to 41, and this is I do CPL set for complete set, and it has a $2 value. Okay, so there's all my information on my strip. I kind of want to put a note that there's some duplicates. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's necessary. Maybe I'll leave that out. So anyways, now I should be able to clear off the info on this stock card and clean it up for future use. Such a beautiful thing, honestly. I have a giant bag of used glassines and stock cards, and I was gonna sell it as just this big bulk bag on eBay. I never ended up doing that. I still have it, but all those ones in there were written on with pens, so they have markings that you can't get rid of. And while it's not perfect, you guys can see like maybe the slightest, that there was something there, but it's totally ready to be repurposed and reused. Yeah, I just think it's ugly, stock cards that have all the info scratched out, and sometimes you look at things and it's been used like 3 or 4 times, and you just don't even know what information to go for right away. It's like, what is this? So, my erasable pen. Enough about it. I love it. It's fantastic. Cool. So, done with that. We've got our first set in here. Yeah, this is coming along already. This is great. Okay, so, like I said, I'm not gonna video every single stock card. That'd be ridiculous. So I just wanted to run through the motions with you guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I'm going to finish up Bohemian Moravia with this page and then begin on the next page. And then I suppose that you guys will just get to sit back and relax for a sec, and you'll get to see what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I just figured I'd stop for a sec. If you didn't notice, my whole freaking camera fell down just a minute ago. That was weird. I was like, ah! So I finished this page here. So this has all gone really well. Like this is 35, 36, and number 37. So I decided to leave a little gap here because then I pick up at number 40. I didn't want to leave them together and make people think that it was like a perfect series in sequence. None of this is a complete set from what I know. At least I didn't write that on the cards. And actually I kind of want to check. Even though I erased it, I can still sort of tell what I wrote. Just make sure. Yeah, I don't see complete set. Right. So I'm missing some in these sets, so they're not complete, so I'm not going to write that. I did actually forget to write the year that these were released, so I put that down at the bottom. And yeah, so this has gone really well. I'm pretty sure I was doing a time lapse there, so you guys can see me speed through it all of it there. That went really easy. It's going well. It's pretty. I like it. And all I can think to myself while I'm doing this is, man, this is so nice to put all these in here like this. Having done all the work beforehand, it really is the right way to do it. When you're building an album, you honestly organize everything first, and this is stamp collecting in general. Like if I had a big pile of stamps or a glassine full of mixed worldwide stamps, organizing is a big part of this hobby. And if I had a big mixed glassine, I would be sorting it first, and I'd put all of them in piles, either by country or year or something, right? Generally by country if it's worldwide stamps. And then once I have them organized in piles by country, then I would go one pile at a time and organize them by Scott number, and then you can put them in your album. Like stamp collecting is really about being organized. It's a big part of the hobby. Like, I could just have taken all of these stamps and just thrown them on this page randomly, and there would have been no organization, no order to it. I personally think it's more pleasing to the eye, to see things in order and grouped together accordingly, appropriately, that kind of stuff. It just makes it prettier, right? Now, I have big pages in this album where I just went nuts. I was like, this is a anything and everything page. No order to it, randomness. The whole pages are filled with just all kinds of different issues from all kinds of countries about all kinds of things, and it was just chaos pages. And sometimes that's cool. I like that. But in general, in stamp collecting, yeah, I mean, we're kind of nitpicky people in a way. I'm not crazy like that, but stamp collectors generally want things to be organized, So anyways, this just makes sense. It looks nice. It's beautiful. I like it. Very nice. Here's Bohemian Moravia. Also, let me just keep going in real time here. This also makes me think about that I am actually a sloppy collector, in my own opinion. I can be pretty critical of myself about all kinds of things, right? My weight, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? In stamp collecting, though, like, there are collectors that put way more information and time and effort into every single stamp. That's not me. Like, I could be putting information about pulled perfs, about defects, about bends and creases and hinges, and I could be I honestly, there's a part of me that does love the idea of putting whether it's mint hinged, mint never hinged, mint light hinged, or used, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not going to put used next to all these stamps. I mean, you can tell that they're used. They have a cancel on them. But there's collectors out there that are like old time, and they're really about that. They're really about every bit of pertinent information that you could possibly have. That's just not quite me. That's not how I built this album anyways. I put simple, basic information, and I don't spend way too much time on every single stamp. I'm just not doing that. I don't know what to say. So, anyways, I just wanted to kind of put that out there, that this is actually a pretty casual way of doing this, the way that I'm doing this. I mean, I put the number, the catalog value, and the year. And that's pretty much it. I'm just not getting into a ton of detail. So, these are... they don't fit in this strip right, so I would need to get a new strip, but these are duplicates, these two, and I think what I'm going to do is, I'll show you here, I'm going to actually overlap them a little bit. I usually don't do that, but they are duplicates, and I want to save, I want to use the strip, is really what it's coming down to here. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here. These two duplicates, I organized them where, since the cancel is on the left side, I'm going to overlap part of the stamp so you can still see both of the cancels, right? And yeah, they're overlapped in the sheet, and then we got our single there. That's good enough for me. To each their own. Like I was saying earlier, there's no rules. Instead of wasting a new strip and cutting it just so I can have these, it is the same image design, and the only thing that would differ to be note of would be the cancel, and you can see both cancels. I'm fine with that. So that's how I'm going to do this strip. Kind of, I just don't want to waste a strip. Of course, I could use it later for something else, but I'm trying to make life easy, right? Work harder, not smart, or smarter, not harder. Jesus Christ. Work harder, not smarter. All right. Let me continue on. Okay, so just to talk for a sec, so I just made this strip. Obviously, it's way too long for the album page. I was kind of spacing out. So, because I want everything to be in order, kind of you read this like a book, right? Left to right. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Now, I already glued these into the mount and everything, so they're in there. And this is risque. Risque. Hold on, let me space it out again. Okay, so I'm going to cut it behind this blue stamp. And this is totally stupid. This is risky business, dumb stuff. I mean, if I cut these stamps, it's not the end of the world. But I'm just really taking note down there, you know, where the edge of the slicer is on this mount. And I think I'll be okay. I'm good. So now I'm going to hit the edge of both of these with some more of the adhesive pen, close them up so that I can put these on this page properly. Alrighty, so just gonna keep it real with you guys. Screwed up. I screwed up. Where did I screw up? Not putting them in these freaking things, but when I organized it. Now you'll see on this stock card, I actually went and was writing things supposedly in order, and then I realized, oh crap, the third stamp was really number 52, so that actually belonged in the beginning. Well, I caught that note on this thing. But it doesn't matter. I screwed up because they're in the wrong order. You know, even with my best efforts, I still screwed that up. And that happened at work. Who knows? Maybe the phone rang, whatever. I mean, somehow I mixed these up. Now, see, this says number 52, but that should be a 120 rose red. Well, that's these ones. So I completely screwed that up. Basically, what needs to happen is these rose ones need to go in front of these. So annoying that even though I tried, I still screwed up the freaking order. And I've already put them in the strip, adhered it, closed the strip, all that. So what am I going to do now? Well, I don't know if you guys can tell, but by the grace of God, there's actually a bubble in the side of this strip where it didn't sit down perfectly. So I can slip my tongs in there, and I'm going to try to undo this adhesive. Now we're going to see how this is going to go, because I don't really know. But I have a feeling I'll be able to break it open. It's going well so far. And then I'm going to have to reposition the stamps, close it again. Luckily, I'm sure it's dry by now, but it hasn't been in there for like a month or anything, right? I just closed this thing up, so I bet you I'll be able to get it to open up. Ooh, I gotta be careful. The tip of my tongs slipped under the stamp. So, this is a crap scenario. I'm sad to have to show you this, but this is the reality, and this is how I'm gonna remedy this, is I'm gonna have to freaking open up this mount. Ooh, okay. And this is unusual. I don't often do this whatsoever. Generally, I have things right before I put them in there. Maybe I should look a little bit closer before I put the rest of them in there. So I was thinking of just leaving it, but I figured I'd just share, you know, the reality of we're all human and we screw up. And I just screwed up. Thank God I was able to open this mount back up so I can get these out of here and do this right. What the heck? Jesus, man. I can't believe that I did that. Wow. Man, I really, I set myself up for success and I still screwed up anyways. Isn't that just life? Okay, so let's get these freaking stamps in here properly. I'm going to take a look at the numbers. I have the catalog open on my computer, so I'm going to verify everything is perfect before I close this strip back up again. And yeah, when I realized that, I was just like, man, what the heck? I noticed when I was writing the information, and I noticed that the denoms weren't in order. I was like, wait a minute, I got a 150 and then a 2 and then a 120? Like, could that be? And so I went and checked in the catalog, and yeah, it's ordered by denomination, just like always, you know. So I totally screwed that up. So this all looks better. And let's see here. So these were 51, this 1K, which is probably a Cronin or something like that. So we go from 1K being number 51, that's correct. 52 is a 120, okay, that's correct. Then we go 150, 2, and 250. 150, 2, 250, good. And then we finish with the 3K, is the number 53C. Okay, so I've got them in order again. Let me go ahead and do my adhesive. And, you know, one of the only real disadvantages to having a big album like this is when you rig it on the top of the page, it's so far away from me. It's a little silly, so I have to stand up to reach. Not a huge deal. But yeah, if you had a normal size album, that wouldn't even be an issue. Okay, so let's close that back up. Man, the mount doesn't look quite as pretty as it was because I undid the glue. You can kind of see the glue a little bit more now. That's just whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so that was sad. Oh well, what the heck. I just wanted to be candid with you guys, you know, about that. Yeah, I make mistakes all the freaking time. I mean, I don't know it all. I'm not perfect. And it's not like I'm building these to go into a stamp show or anything like that. I'm building these for me and maybe my son or daughter, if I ever have one, you know, or whoever gets this album through whatever means. I don't know. Time will tell. So yeah, this isn't really, it's just not critical that it's perfect, but that would have been an insult to me. You know, that hurts my own soul when I didn't order them correctly. I mean, what the hell, man? You know? Yeah, and I would say that putting them in this stock card in the wrong order was probably a stupid thing to do anyways, although I did have the arrows to say, hey, oops, that goes at the beginning, and I caught it. It doesn't matter. I screwed up. But it's okay. Problem solved. So, now 52 is the 120. Yep, 152, 253. So 52, 53, 50. Oh, okay, well, 52, 53 is the 150. Yep. And then this light blue 2K is 53A. This darker blue 250 is 53B. And I've already marked this 53C. Okay. And they're all 25 cents cat. All right. Cool. Well, I feel better now that I've corrected that. That's a beautiful thing. I really hope I didn't do that and mix anything else up, but yeah, I wanted to share the reality there. That was kind of a bummer. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to keep moving on. Man, as I am working through this, I'm probably halfway through this stack of Bohemia and Moravia. I've still got more to go, and then I have 2 more stacks like that. So I'm not actually sure if I'm going to get all this done today, if I really want to work on this long. But I'm definitely going to finish Bohemia and Moravia. However, I'm on a diet, the keto diet, and I have to eat. So I'm going to unfortunately have to stop right now and go make a freaking omelet. But I'll be right back, and we'll continue on. So I just felt compelled to share. I love this. This is so cool. I just found this recipe for mason jar omelets. And so this is actually specifically weighed out with the macronutrients that I need, 24 protein, 40 fat. And you prepare these in advance, and they're really easy. It's cherry tomato, about 3 of them, sliced in half, 2 ounces of cheddar cheese, just like a handful of spinach. I diced up mushroom and onion, Put in a tablespoon of avocado oil, crushed red pepper, salt, and pepper, and then 2 eggs. And so it's all prepared, and all you do is this is going to be my lunch for next week every day. You crack the 2 eggs in there, you mix it up, you microwave it for a minute, mix it up, microwave it for a minute, and it fills the whole jar and it becomes this beautiful egg omelet in a jar. Super cool. Then there's a ton of recipes like this, and you can customize them to be whatever you want for yourself. Anyways, I thought this was so cool. Only problem, 16-ounce jar, and I realized that because I'm adding extra spinach and mushroom and onion, which wasn't part of the original recipe, it's a little too full, so it's kind of hard. Some of the eggs crack when I smush them together with the cap, when I put the cap on. So I just bought another set of mason jars that are 22 ounce instead of 24 instead of 16. That way I have a little extra room and I don't have to crack the eggs by stuffing them in there. I can put as much extra stuff as I want. But I love this. I thought it was so cool, and it really turns out great. Just wanted to share. Total random side note. Just for fun to show you, I just cooked it, all done, in the jar. It's actually really hot still. Yikes. You gotta be careful. You gotta let it cool down, but booyah, piece of cake, huh? crap. So, I did it. Obviously, this went well. You know, as I look at it, they mostly look pretty straight to me. I don't know, maybe this one's a little, but it's hard to tell through the camera. But anyways, looking at it in front of me, it looks pretty good. And yeah, it all went well. That was all an easy end to things. I kind of got in the groove there, and I was playing like some Viking music while I was doing this last bit. After breakfast, I felt like I was like sailing on a Viking ship through some deep waters. So anyways, this looks great. I like how this is turning out. I'm definitely not going to do Croatia or Slovakia today, so obviously this is going to blur into the next couple pages. I'd say I'll probably finish somewhere on this page after I fill this backside out. So this has gone really well. I ended up using size 25 for like these imperforate ones, 25 millimeter strips. These ones just aren't that tall. I found that some of them I did need a little more. I used 27 millimeters for these other ones. These were a 25 millimeter strip. I found myself getting a little inconsistent. Actually, this was the first double-sided 25, or split back. Sorry, not double-sided. Split back 25 millimeter strip I did. Well, I decided to lick the bottom. So if you wanted to take a stamp out, you would lift the top of it. Well, I think most people actually lick the top. So I switched up and started licking the top on all the other ones. So you lift the bottom if you want to take the stamps out. Anyways, by the way, I almost always just lick both and just stick it in there, like whatever. I'm not really sure why anybody would need to take these stamps out, and if the day ever came where somebody was stripping this album, well, they can just go ahead and use an X-Acto knife and cut into like the margin, or they can just rip the things off, the mount strips altogether. But I usually lick both because I'm putting things in this album. I intend them to stay here, However, when I do use a split back, then you have the option. And so, let's say if somebody were to want to take one of these stamps out and inspect them, they can. And I think that that's a good idea. So, anytime I use a split back, I'm going to try to just lick either just the top, and that way they can be removed easily if need be. However, on these other ones, on these Hallwood strips, they're not split back, right? So I just lick the whole back, and so these ones actually end up being completely sealed. But like we saw earlier, it's not impossible to undo the adhesive and open up the strip, were somebody ever to want to take the stamp out. Usually that's pretty uncommon, but that's just something that I have a passing thought in my head. I did end up using some 39 millimeter strips. Here's what's left of it. What were those for? Probably these bigger guys here. And so, boy, it's just so nice to have different size strips. It really comes in handy. It's worth it. I didn't end up using anything big, like these are 48s. Everything's in millimeters, by the way, if you don't know, guys, 48 millimeters. So, yeah, this all has been beautiful. And by the way, I love this tub that I've made. Everything's organized from smallest to largest. And it's just so handy dandy to have a whole bunch of different size mounts. Yeah, it costs money, but this is the right way to put them in the album. They're protected. I don't think I've put a single stamp in this album that wasn't protected in some form or fashion, be it a mount, a clear page protector, something. Like, it's always something. And for one thing, because I'm not just hinging the stamps directly to the album page. From what I can recollect, I would kind of have to go look through the album again and just see, but I'm pretty sure that's been my theme this whole time. Oh, sorry for the noise. Whoa, a helicopter. Dang, that thing was right overhead. So yeah, my theme has been like that everything gets mounted, so that's how I've been putting stamps in this album. Well, this turned out really good. I'm really super happy with it. I'm left with my random scraps as usual, so what do I do with these? Well, you guys should already know. They're going right in my scrap bag. Save them for later in case I need them. And the ones that are at least somewhat sizable, I'll actually slip those back into the original holders. Oh, my SD card filled up, so it cut me off. Anyways, that's it. I will do these other stacks. I mean, as you can see, look at Croatia. Oh my god. Yeah, I just don't have it in me to do all this today, plus this stack. So, another day. You know, there's no rush, no need to do everything at once. I think overall this has been a nice beginning to this section. And I think it looks great. Very happy with it. One thing to note, I didn't put the cat value on these. I didn't bother to look them up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, frankly. I mean, everything's really pretty much like, 25, 30 cents, whatever. So overall, I'm pleased with how it's all gone. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little step into the journey of making this album. That's pretty much how every single page has gone. It takes time and effort and a little bit of money. Care, love, right? Yeah, so overall, it's fun. I do love it. I will mention, I don't know where I had left off on this album. I know I did that, my big giant worldwide album update video, and that was many, many months ago at this point. I have done several pages since that video. But yeah, once I get to where I'm kind of done with this album, then I'll do like the final video for this album. So there's definitely work that I've done that you guys haven't seen, but we'll save that for later. And by the way, I still have several pages to go, and this itself is kind of one big chunk. I think I'm actually going to take that out. So really, this is all that I have left in this album. This many pages, whatever that is, 10 pages, 15, something. It's just too full. I really don't think that that it's going to have space to fill out a whole nother chunk before, like, the buckles just don't simply work anymore because it's just too fat. I'm almost there already, So, that was it. I figured you guys might like a little step into watching me make an album. I don't know, maybe this was helpful for somebody out there. And really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my stuff, and I will catch you later.